through the state of California through an agency called Cal HFA.
Who qualifies for Dream for All?
First-time home buyers.
Okay.
With
All right, let's go. Okay, boom, boom.
sound is great.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Can I advertise for St. Jude's Children's Research?
No, you can't because they are not supporting our podcast.
We support them, not the other way around. It's a non-profit.
Hey, you think how you want to
St.
think?
Jude's Children's Research Hospital. I donate to this as much as I possibly can. I run for them sometimes, just generating money. That's my commercial today. And it's a non-profit, so you feel great.
For the record, I do too, and every month or every other month they email me the stickers for my outgoing mail with my address. So I am a proud supporter of them. Just they are not supporting our podcast, so that's where it ends. All right. I'm brutal today, bro. All right, with that being said, welcome to Dad's House, episode 6. Officially, we're in episode 6. Yeah. We haven't been canceled yet.
No.
So let's
Today might be the day.
Well, if we talk about what you want to talk about, I'm not too sure about that. Today, let's kind of go over some of the topics that we're going to be talking about. I really want to talk about Dream for All. So that's the 20% down program that first-time buyers qualify. I want to get into the specifics, meaning everyone's hyping it up. Everyone's talking about, hey, buy a house, free 20% down. Mm-hmm. There's a catch to it, but it's not the catch that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the realities of it and how many people actually will qualify for it.
Yeah, we did the math.
Which we already decided we're gonna be out of money probably sometime in April.
I think so, yes.
Okay, so we'll talk about Dream for All. You want to talk about toxic masculinity?
You can't even get it out of your mouth.
Because this
Toxic masculinity. What's that? Why is that hard to say?
Give me the sexy title. What the hell does that mean?
That is a sexy title.
No,
Think about it. Toxic masculinity, right? So you have the dominant power in the world, which is men, right?
According to who, by the way?
What do men not run most things in the world?
Women are powerful, bro.
But they're not the dominating power in the world. But between the two sexes, men are
not in North Korea.
In an economic way.
Okay.
In an economic way, for damn sure. I don't think that's challengeable.
I can't wait to get into it. All right. So, all right. I want to talk about why divorce is a good thing, and if we have a little bit of chance at the end, let's talk about Trump. Got indicted. He actually is on the way to go get locked up, or not locked up, but turned himself in.
I'm not even happy about that.
You're not?
No.
Let's see. No. I thought it was the total opposite. We kind of discussed last episode.
Would I love to see Trump in jail? Sure. But do I think that this is the way?
Yeah, I think it's going to backfire for one of the political sides. So if we have a chance, we'll get into it. So with that being said, Ernesto, Dream for All, that's a new loan program. That's not a loan program. That's a new qualifying.
It's for first-time home buyers.
Okay.
It's federal money that's going to be funneled through the state of California through an agency called Cal HFA.
Who qualifies for Dream for All?
First-time home buyers.
Okay.
With 680 FICO plus.
Okay.
You're going to do a conventional loan. And you can buy single-family residence, condo. You can buy even a manufactured home. And you can even buy a home with an ADU on it.
Right. So it's an amazing product. The first time that I shared something that you posted last week, I think Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week, I had 3 people that they were friends on Instagram. I was not expecting these friends to reach out to me like, hey, how do I qualify? How do I get started? So it's a game changer.
Interestingly, folks, I never heard about those 3 people. So those referrals never came through.
Yeah. They're not in yet. So when they come in, you'll be hearing about it.
Hey, Ernesto, make this call stage.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That's what's going to happen. Okay, but everyone, I'm talking social media is blowing up. Everyone's creating content and every loan officer making flyers and talking about it.
I saw it on the news. It was on the news.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it. But what they're not talking about is there's actually a financial limit. So in the state of California, they only allocated about $300 million, right?
$300 million. There are people lobbying for a full allocation of $1 billion. It was actually, the initial allocation was going to be $500 million, but the governor stepped in and reduced it to $300.
Shout out to you, Newsom, for reducing that. But with that said, let's break down what $300 million breaks down to.
Sure.
In California prices. How many actual first-time home buyers will get the benefit of $300 million?
Okay, so let's break down the easy numbers. The easy numbers are, if you look at the median home sales price in California, it's in the mid-700s.
Yep.
Lower mid-700s, right?
Yep.
And if you take the 20% down on that, just to keep it easy, again, 140-something thousand per, right? So that's represents a 20% down payment. Let's call it 150,000 for the sake of easy. And there's a $300 million current allocation. That means if you're playing with the numbers, you can go either way, but it means it's going to help between 2,000 and 2,300 families in this year, is this allocation.
Okay, so max maybe 2,300 families.
Yes.
Can qualify and get their piece of the $300 million plan.
Yeah. And that's assuming it assumes that we're working off of the median sales price. It also assumes everybody takes 20%. So if some people take less than 20% or whatever, it'll be a different number.
Let's go on the higher side of things, maybe 2,400 people.
Something like that.
To put it into perspective, how many houses are sold in the state of California in a yearly basis? Ballpark.
So the projection for this year is 333,000 houses.
333,000. And maybe there's 2,300. That's less than like 1%.
Yeah, if you divide 333,000 by 12,
okay,
you're going to get a much larger number than 2,300 families.
Okay, so
on a monthly basis, we'll eclipse 2,300 in a quick moment.
So to be very frank with you, I really believe that is the Dream for All is an amazing program.
No question.
It reminds me of the 2008, 2009 Obama credit, the $8,000 first-time buyer credit. That was an amazing program that moved the needle. I had a lot of family members and first-time buyers that came out of the woodwork. That's what's happening with this program,
yes,
except it's limited.
Yes, for sure. And so that $8,000 that you're talking about, that had a lot more federal dollars behind it.
Sure.
And
it was unlimited.
Yeah, that's why you saw it go for as long as it did.
Sure.
This is a finite.
Bro, let me stop you there. I had cousins that had no jobs. I had cousins, right, in 2008, 2009. Thank God that they turned their lives and their careers around.
Don't say your cousins' names.
I'm not. They'll kick my ass. But I had family members reach out to me. They had no job, no credit, right? If they were caught by ICE, they would have been deported that week. Reaching out to me, hey, compa, how do I get ¿cómo agarro esos $8,000? Everybody just wanted a free $8,000.
Yeah.
And to be frank, I mean, that was a very tough time, 2008, 2009, 2010.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So this market is obviously a way better market. So I think there's some great benefits to it. Now, let's talk about some of the catches. Everybody wants a free 20%. So in 30 seconds or less, what are the cons to the program? Meaning, what are some of the things that come attached if you take 20%?
So number one, it's not free money. It's never free money, by the way.
There's always a hook.
Even grants will come with strings attached, right? There are programs that are grants out there. This is not a grant. If you do take the full 20%, you're going to owe that balance whenever you sell or transfer your property. There's a lot of people are saying that you can't refinance. You can refinance. Cal HFA will resubordinate. They'll take and allow you to refinance that first loan one time. So you can refinance. After that, you're going to owe the money back if you try to refinance.
It's not just owing the money back, because you have to pay back the money you get.
You have to pay back the principal, the original amount that you borrowed.
Right.
And if you do 20%, you're going to owe 20% of any future equity in your home. You'll also owe that to Cal HFA. They're basically coming in as a co-investor on your property.
They're a co-partner.
Yes.
So a lot of people, we're not talking too much about that on those videos and the content that's being created.
Right.
If you take this application, you qualify, you use it, congrats to you, kudos to you. You now have a business partner.
Yeah, the state of California.
With the state of California.
But let me say this. Then this is, people say, well, I'm going to have to owe the money back. Yes, you will owe the money back, and you will owe some of the equity that you get in your property. But it's equity you would not have had otherwise. Either you wouldn't have qualified one, or let's say you qualified at $500,000, and now this program allows you to qualify at $600,000, right?
Yep.
You're going to owe equity to the state of California, but you're going to get to keep the equity that you were going to qualify for anyway.
I agree with you.
Right? So it's still a good program in that sense.
It's a great program, but if you're on the fence or you're thinking about buying in 2023, reach out to your local loan officer. That'd be him. Reach out to your the best real estate agent. That'd be me. I'm just kidding. But reach out to your agent, your loan officer, and get the ball rolling now, because that money will probably be out by the end of April, maybe early May.
I don't think it's going to see its way through. The allocations will be done. The escrows will probably close in April-May timeframe, but the allocation of that money will be out and done by the end of April.
All right, so let's pivot into the Dream for All. Let's talk about Ernesto's Dream. Ernesto's Dream seems to be toxic masculinity.
How did you land on that being my dream? It's not a dream. It's a concept. It's taking some flight out there right now. The idea of toxic masculinity. Break those two words apart. There's a version of manhood out there right now that I don't think helps anybody.
The reason I say it's a dream of yours, because the first thing you asked me today when I walked up here was, hey, do you wash dishes? Or what did you ask me? Or wash dishes, or do
you wash dishes in your home?
Yeah. And I said, no, I don't.
No, you don't. I'm sorry, but you didn't get a chance to answer fully. Why don't you wash dishes in your home?
Well, my home is a full house, meaning 5 kids, 2 20-year-olds, 2 16-year-old boys, twins, and a almost 15-year-old daughter, plus a dog, plus a turtle, and a great wife. Okay. There's no doubt that I'm the breadwinner of the home. It's not just me and my wife. My wife's my partner. So we're the breadwinners. I do a lot of things. I don't mind sweeping after the dogs. The dog hairs everywhere. It annoys me. I don't mind cleaning up. I'll leave my socks on the floor. I pick up my socks on the floor. Kids leave their sweater on the couch. I'll pick up the sweater on the couch. I don't mind cleaning up a little bit, loading, not the dishwasher, loading the dishes in the sink. But I just don't do dishes. Why? I have 5 capable and able children. I just expect them to do it.
Yeah,
that's their job. I taught them.
Yeah.
Same thing with the toilets. I don't clean toilets. Not that it's above me, but I've done it. I went my first job at
not below.
Below you. I'm sorry, below me. When I turned 16, I worked at a pizza place. There was drunks. There was bar fights. Yeah. I mean, I was serving alcohol, which I think is illegal at 16. But I was serving alcohol in a very dangerous place. And guess what? After Raider games, after NFL games, and Monday Night Football games, Sunday night games, guess who was cleaning the toilet to throw up and the piss all over the floor?
Yeah.
Me. I've done that.
I've done that too. My mother, didn't spare anything from us. We had to have the house nice and clean by the time she came home. That included washing dishes, and it included scrubbing toilets and all that stuff. And I'm actually glad that she did it, because that kind of work is gross. Yeah, it's gross. But at the same time, it teaches you, hey, it's got to get done anyway. Everybody's got a job to do if the house is gonna be clean. So that's not what I'm talking about at all when I say toxic.
Yeah. So what are you talking about?
When I say toxic masculinity, or when I use that term, what comes to my mind is an idea of a man that has to be at all costs great physique, high earner, very alpha type of a personality in order to get a quote unquote good partner, a good wife, or good girlfriend, or whatever.
Right.
To be successful with the ladies, right? Which I think is the biggest piece of crap sale that's going on right now, and it's all over popular social media channels, all over, right? Yeah. This idea, and I just saw this yesterday on a very popular channel. These 3 guys sitting around, and the host, they were like, explain to me, what it takes to be a good man in this society or whatever. And the people are like, you got to do those things. You got to have the physique. You got to have the money. No, you don't. You're discounting the great majority of the people in the world, right, who don't have the time or the energy to go out and build a fantastic body. Should they? That's a different question, right? They're not everybody's going to be super wealthy. And in fact, there would be no such thing as super wealthy if there wasn't an average person out there to support you in your buildup.
See, I'm in agreement with you on this 1,000%.
Yeah.
I don't believe, again, I don't know what channel you're talking about or what host you're talking about, but I don't believe.
Multiples.
Yeah. I don't believe that that's what's needed. Now, do I believe men should be a breadwinner?
Do you believe? Yeah, of course. I mean, in this society, if the couple's not out there hustling for the family, of course, everybody, the couple has to be breadwinners. But do you believe that the man has to, by natural design, be even the leader of the household? Do you think that's the way that we were designed to be? Because I'm gonna tell you right now.
Okay, that's a different question. Designed. If we go back to caveman days, and then the 1700 days before electricity days, and then the steel revolution days, yes,
I 100% agree with you. In the societies that we are leaving behind, in some senses, because we still have agriculture, right? Sure. We still have agriculture. Sure. We still have people that work in factories, all that stuff. So in the eras where physical strength, now I'm talking about physical strength, was needed in order to carry the family's financials forward.
Sure.
That is I think even an acceptable way to be. Although on this earth there have always been, I
can see why you're passionate about this,
led societies, right?
I agree.
Smaller ones, but they have existed. In this era, hold on, let me finish. In this era, if we're talking about, there's a desk right here, and there's a desk right here, and there's a dude sitting here and a female sitting at the other.
Yep.
And you, in your mindset, are walking in, I'm a man, so I'm going to be better at this job than this person is.
You already lost.
You've lost so big. Yeah. And worse is if your boss thinks like that, and we're talking about desk position, service positions, where it's about creating imagination, providing customer service, doing all the things that drive a service business forward, and you're looking at the men like the men somehow have a better gift. man, have you lost, because you are not only assigning traits to a person who might not have the gifts that you want, but you're also discounting the benefits that other person brings to the table.
All right,
because they're female.
There's a lot of layers here with you.
Tons.
There's a lot of
more than we're gonna have time to discuss.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just give you my quick 2 cents. If you want to rebuttal it, cool. If you don't, we can move on. Okay. All right, so for sure, there's a lot of layers with you on this one, Ernesto.
I know, and more than we're gonna have time to talk about.
So if you want to rebuttal back, great. If you don't, okay. So in my opinion is this: I do believe that women and ladies, like, I don't know your wife personally, like at that level, but I could only imagine that she doesn't want to be married to a prima donna. No. She wants to be married to somebody that's gonna, if she gets pushed at the grocery store, at the parking lot, you're gonna stand up for her. So there's a male,
but let me tell you, she's gonna stand up for herself.
I believe that.
That's my wife.
Yeah, and that's why you married her. And
that's why I married
her. You sought out probably a wife tougher than you.
I'm not saying she's tougher than me, but we're sure as hell our partners in them.
So I do believe that there's a layer to that. I do believe, like, you have daughters, I have 2 daughters. I do want whoever they marry, that's going to be a similar to me, maybe similar to you, that the buck stops with them. No one's going to insult their wife or insult your daughter, my daughter, to their face, slap them, push them, grab their butt without some major repercussions or an ass kicking. So first, let's kind of go back a step. I guess technically I've been divorced now. I mean, I'm sure it's posted. It's it's in LA County. You can pull it up. But I think I've been divorced now officially maybe 10, 11 years, right around there. Maybe 12 years actually. But at that time, Ernesto, a lot of people don't know this. When we broke up and she getting ready to file, bro, I was crying like a little bitch. I was like curled up.
Toxic masculinity. Go ahead.
No, there was no toxic anything there. Maybe there was toxic me.
No, you're used to the term. But go ahead.
I was crying. Oh, I didn't know. Now I know what you mean. I was crying like a little girl, curled up in my bed, because, I was going to be the first divorce case study, if you will, in my family, like our generation.
Right.
2 generations.
Catholics don't believe in divorce.
I don't believe in a lot of things, but
they still get divorced.
Fast forward, how I got through that, I met a great lady, Vanessa, who, became a dear friend. Now she's my best friend, and now we're, happily married, and, I love spending a lot of time with her, right? So I really believe at the darkest period of my life, my time, like, oh my God, I'm going to divorce, I'm going to lose my house, I'm going to lose my car. By the way, I had just got into the real estate business, right? I mean, it was the same year, and my daughter, who was 15, was, she was just born. She was like 6, 7, 8 months, when it happened. Yeah. So I was raising her. I was, bro, I hate using the word suicidal, but it was damn near like, I was ashamed. I thought I was losing everything, and I was in a dark cloud. Now, fast forward to meeting, seeing the sun come up, putting yourself out there, finding success, although it took me 4 or 5 years to find it in real estate. Man, I'm so grateful to that. And I'm bringing that up. You talked about marriage. I brought up that because, we deal with a lot of relationships. I'm sorry. We deal with a lot of relationships in our business, sure. Whether it's clients, whether it's, agents, whether it's couples that we're friends with and that sort of thing. And and people in our position, we sometimes hear like, man, I'm struggling with this. And I always refer them out to therapy and that sort of thing. But you've never been divorced. You've been married 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
20 years. What's the secret, if you will, to a successful marriage in today's day and age, 2023, 2020, 2010? Because, I mean, there's reports out there that 60% of marriages are going to end up in divorce. I'm grateful that I did, because I found a great partner, great happiness.
It just repeated to going back to your first point. I think getting a divorce for you was probably, like you said, the best thing that ever happened to you. And it seems to have paid out really well, because you have now Vanessa to thank for that. Yeah. And you have her 2, 3 boys to thank for that as well. And you have a partner now that matches you, and you're able to raise your kids, all 5 of them together. And I have seen you guys from, not day one, because I didn't know you day one, but I saw you on day 1B, where you guys got back together, you and Vanessa. And what I have seen from then to now, honestly, it's amazing for everybody involved in your family.
No, I appreciate that. But so, me and Vanessa, she's been through a divorce. Actually, 2. A lot of people don't know this. Sorry, babe. 2. I've been through a divorce, so we kind of have already failed. So we found, okay, we fucked up here, she messed up here, or this messed up here. So let's fix these things and we move forward. So, like, we're a bad case study there. But, we share, we have an open book, everything.
Great case study. What are you talking
about? No, I'm saying people will use that. Oh, well, you already failed. So because you failed, you learn. Okay, I'll accept that. But somebody like you, 20-year run, I don't think you're going to be divorced in 2023.
I hope not.
No. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. But what's the secret? Like, let's share it. What's the secret of marriage? Because this is going to be like, I'm going to run this as a hook.
I'll tell you just, I can only speak from the personal experience part of it, but there came a point in my marriage where I got very comfortable being myself.
Okay.
And I noticed that my wife accepted it, right? And in that moment, I was like, okay, this is a forever thing. Prior to that moment, I don't know that I even considered whether it was forever or not. But after that, once I saw that I could be very comfortable just being, right? That for me was the game-changing moment. And I have, like, from then to now, I can tell you, it was a thing. My wife is, like you said, she's a stronger-willed woman, etc.
Yep.
I didn't know that she would be comfortable, for example, with showing emotion the way that I show emotion, as an example, right?
Okay.
And she does, the bottom line there is she gets to be herself and I get to be myself in our marriage, and the two things work. But I think the moment that I realized that, and this was actually, by the way, stepping away from like the quote unquote, the trying to be Mr. Macho in the house,
trying to
all that stuff. I didn't want that, and I dumped it. Well, the moment I dumped it, and I just allowed myself to be myself in the marriage, I realized what I had been paying lip service to for the longest time, which is that I wanted a partner, that I wanted an equal, that I wanted all that stuff became so much more natural to execute on. And then for me, that was it. That for me was the key.
Let's talk about this. By the way, divorce, I don't condone it. I hope it never happens in our household, our 5 kids.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta.
It's gonna happen. I have 5 kids. The odds are it's gonna happen to one of our 5 kids, right? That's why my rule: don't get married till you're 28. No babies with anybody, no matter how beautiful and how hot they are at 19, 20, 21, 22,
right.
23, until the 28, 29.
Can I ask you about your rule though?
Yeah. Do
you think that a 25-year-old adult is gonna say, no, my dad's got this 28-year rule and I can't get married yet?
Well, if one of my 25-year-old kids wants a piece of my trust fund account,
okay,
they will. Yeah,
I don't know. That's fair. I'm not gonna challenge you on that.
Okay, good. All right. So with that said, Ernesto, if you weren't a loan officer and a successful loan officer, what would you be doing today, and why do you say that?
This is gonna sound a little weird, maybe to people, but in my previous life, I was in the military.
Yeah.
Right?
Army.
And then, I was in the Army for 7 years. Coming out of the Army, which, by the way, I'm gonna say this for everybody that thinks that the way that I talk about women and all that stuff, you don't think I'm man enough. Go sign up for 7 years and then come talk to me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't challenge you there. I think you are. You're a little skinny for my taste, but
whatever. But the bottom line is, what the version of masculinity that I lead, I'm very secure in it.
Sure. I actually believe that.
Yeah. What career would I have had I not been a loan officer?
Yeah.
In my prior life, I was a military guy, and I loved my military days. Had it not been for me having asthma as a kid and that stopping me from doing other things I wanted to do in the Army, I probably would have stayed in the Army as a career.
Wow.
Then coming out, I did not know enough to know that the career that I had in the Army, I could have expanded it as a civilian, except at a very low level. So I came out, did similar things to what I did in the military as a civilian, but I did not see the future in it because I wasn't exposed to the future in it. I would have gone an intelligence, because I did military intelligence. I would have gone an intelligence career from a civilian side, but
got it.
My thinking on it was too limited to understand I could have done it.
Now, at this point, when you left the Army, you already had met your wife?
No. I left the Army in 1998. I met my wife in 2002. No, I'm sorry, 2000, in the year 2000.
Okay, so soon after. All right. For me, I asked that question because somebody asked me yesterday, one of my clients, hey, what did you do before this? Like, how did you end up here? Right? And it made me think, right? It was all luck, pure luck. My last W-2 job, my last job before I got into the mortgage side, and I was a runner, making copies, sending copies of deed of trust and crap, right? in the secondary market.
Yeah.
On the mortgage side. Prior to that job, I worked at Costco here in the city of Azusa. There's no doubt I was being primed and prepped there, just from the positions that I had in about a year and a half that I spent there, maybe a year, that I was being primed to be a manager, night manager. I really believe that fast forward to 22 years later, maybe, 20 years later, actually 22 years later, there's no doubt that I probably would be a manager at Costco. Never would have owned it because,
managers do well at Costco, right?
Oh, they do. They were making six figures. No, they were making about 60, 65 back in 2001, 2002.
Yeah, but now
right.
I'm sure. I've done loans for managers at Costco. They make good money.
Yeah. So I think that would be my position, bro. I think that's where I'm a very comfortable guy. But then again, that was pre-divorce. That was my second kid.
Left turn.
Yeah, man. Life's amazing.
Yeah.
It's scary. I think about the next 5-10 years and where I'm going to be there. I have no idea, man.
That's interesting to hear you say, because I see you mapping out a future, and it's pretty well defined.
Yeah. But there's a lot of things that are involved with it. The economy, right? Of course, you control what you can control.
Yeah.
You can control where you park your money, your assets. You can't control losses. You can't control health issues.
Yeah.
A lot. I've been limping here for the last week. I hurt my knee after walking crooked with my sore knee. My hip gave out, so I've been limping the last week here, man. I literally felt like, I don't know what a 90-year-old feels like, but I felt Monday through Thursday of this week like a 90-year-old probably feels. Wow. Walking on one leg, holding on to things. I mean, I was miserable at home, bro. I was getting ready to go to a chiropractor today, but I woke up, I feel nice and limber, and I feel really powerful. So, with that said, I would be a manager at
Costco.
All right, let's wrap it up with this. Did you grow up watching wrestling?
Yeah, like probably every little boy in our era watched wrestling.
Fun fact. This is a fun fact for anybody that's watching. For the last month, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm going back to 12-year-old Jose on Instagram. I'm following all these wrestling accounts, and they're posting all the guys that I used to follow: the Ric Flairs, the Bret Hart, Macho Man.
Talk about Alpha.
Yeah, I talk about Alphas, exactly. Hulk, Rick Savage, brother. That's a Hulk word. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is the golden years of wrestling is back because they're in Hollywood this weekend for WrestleMania. Well, no, I was gonna say no.
I was gonna say
whoever's wrestling now.
They're all busted up.
Yeah, I don't watch. Most of them are dead, by the way. I don't watch it anymore. But one of my buddies, him, Eddie, is taking his son, Kanan, to WrestleMania here in Hollywood Saturday and Sunday. Now they divided the WrestleMania event into 2 days. I was just wondering if you're a fan of wrestling.
I was always.
Who was your favorite wrestler and why?
Jimmy Superfly Snuka was one of my favorites for sure, because the way he jumped off the turnbuckle was amazing.
Give me his sign or a famous slogan that he would do.
Oh, I have no idea anymore. But I remember when he flew through the air, it was like the knee.
Yeah. They didn't do the.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do you remember a guy named what was his name? He always walked into the ring with a 2x4.
Jim Hacksaw.
Hacksaw Jim. Yeah. The guy was like a hit from Florida or something like that. He wanted
to get a cricket eye.
Yeah.
Long hair. Blue underwear.
Yeah.
Blue trousers. Who was your favorite heel, or the worst guy, the heel? Who's the heel that you love to hate?
Oh, the manager, the guy who was trying to be a manager. He was always trying to steal Macho Man's girlfriend. What's his name? Anyway, I don't remember his name. But he was like a skinny dude. He wore shades all the time. He had a friggin', party in the back.
The mouth?
Yeah. I think his name was something like that.
Something the mouth.
And then on top of that was, of course, the Sheik, who had the camel clutch. You know what the camel clutch?
Of course.
Oh, man, that looked so painful. At the same time, he looked like he was having so much fun breaking these dudes' backs.
You know who I had already gave up on wrestling. I didn't care, but I think this guy was becoming popular. It was probably mid-2000s. Steve Stone Cold Austin. I'll tell you what I liked about him. That motherfucker was funny, bro. He'd come in his jean shorts, his knee braces. He'd go into the ring. They'll throw him beers, start chugging beers in the middle of the turnbuckles. Somebody will come in, he'll do the stone cold shit. Somebody else will come and do the stone cold, you know. To me, that time, it was a golden era, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Have you ever gone to a live wrestling event?
No.
I'm thinking about taking our kids. They don't watch it.
You know what? I don't know, but before WWF, because it's WWE now, but it was WWF then. Before WWF, in my life, there was Lucha Libre.
Sure.
Lucha Libre was, and I don't know if it came before in actuality American wrestling, but Lucha Libre was Mexican wrestling with Mexican wrestlers, and those dudes were always amazing to me. Barrel-chested, not defined because they're
flying.
Yeah, they were a lot about the acrobatics and a lot about, like, they would all wear masks, máscaras. All those dudes were my heroes first.
I've never watched them. I never got into it. I know they were a channel, televisión. I never really got into it. But my cousin who grew up in Tijuana would always tell me, oh, your wrestling is too fake. You got to do this. You got to watch that. And I'm like, yeah, right, Jose Luis, yeah, right. But I agree with you. It takes talent. It breaks down your body, and they do it night after night. I mean, I have a sore knee because of the gym, bro.
Yeah.
The gym. And me limping with my sore knee somehow messed up my hip. And then my hip gave me a stiff neck. Can you imagine trying to be a freaking wrestler? With that said, guys, thank you. If you watched it, please subscribe. If you enjoy it, tag somebody that's into real estate, being a great dad, thinks that divorce is a good thing, and or loves wrestling. So if that's them, tag them. They should follow us. Comment on here, and more importantly, Ernesto, good show.
Thank you, brother.
Let's go.
Like and follow. It's important for us.
Yeah. So episode 7, what do you want to cover?
Ooh, I think we need to get into Trump.
Trump.
It's necessary. We're gonna have an argument about it. It's gonna be an argument for sure.
#free Trump.
All right.